Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm Daith, and today we're going to look at what the Pulse fan stream for Transformers showed off today here. Bunch of this leaked last night, so it's not like it's big news right now anymore, but everything's up for pre-order at this point by the time you watch this. So, anyways, let's get on here. Here we start off with the last two of the aerial bots we'll need for the year to create Superion. So Skydive and Fireflight, or Firefly if you want to go original. But here they are looking. Their jet nodes are all right. Not big. I'm probably not getting this. Like I'm haven't been trying to get any of the newer combiners after I'm happy with my combiner wars, but they're looking nice for what they are. You know, onto the bot modes. Honestly, I do like the bot modes because you don't have that combiner block from the combiner wars right there in the chest, taking up, real estate. It looks really good, especially, it's, I mean, I'll admit, I have a hard time keeping which one's which. So, but, both of them look pretty good now. They don't have the big old combiner block in the middle of their chest here. So, I'll give some credit to the designers. They've done the bot modes pretty well. Here we have the product shots with them in box. Okay, Fireflight's the one in white. I'll have to remember that. So, anyways, so he's looking pretty good in box and everything. And Skydive just as well. I don't know. The one thing I did like about, the Combiner Wars is if I remember right, Skydive could actually bend his wings backward, so you don't have to have him play it out like that. But I don't know. I mean, I can't remember what's accurate to the cartoon or toys back in the day anyway. So here we have a nice shot with Superion all completed here. So it's kind of interesting. I don't mind the arms and the main body, but the legs, I hate that you don't have the jets facing outward on the front of the legs. I get that's probably accurate to back in the day, but I just don't like that. I want the jets on the front to see that the jets are there. It's one of the things I don't like about this combiner, like block system they got going on here with the newer ones. All right. Anyways, let's go on here. Here we got the Insecticon Venom, or Venom, it's like them and their trademark keeping, names and everything. But honestly, got no real love for this one. It looks cool for what it is. I'm not pre-ordering it. If I see it in town, I might pick it up. But to me, the Insecticons are all the purple and yellow and black ones. I never knew about the deluxe Insecticons until years later. So I mean, he looks cool. The greens, the yellows, the nice orange wings. It looks okay. Here we got the cicada mode over here. And yeah, I mean, it looks okay. Nothing I'm that into, but it's cool that they're finally getting it out. Nice good product shot here. It looks all right. I mean, I don't know, the lighting on that looks very nice in that, but it's whether it's going to look like that in person or not, that's the thing. Onward here. Okay, here's the one I was looking forward to. So I couldn't remember if my Cronus was coming this year or next year. Obviously, it's the last wave of this year now. So, and with this, I was kind of wondering what they were gonna do with my Cronus since he's the original Minicon, and since his most media worthy appearance has been in what was it, Robots in Disguise 2015. He kind of has that Robots in Disguise 2015 Minicon disc thing going on here. So, and his his actual, minicon robot mode is actually pretty much, kind of straight, looking like he was in the show. But, how you gonna do that in just a deluxe? Well, that's where the whole armor set comes in over here. So it's an interesting way to do it. I mean, in a way, I heard some people call this the Apex armor from Prime, and it's a good way to look at it. I mean, what it had one of the had the girl from Prime in it, and she'd be about the same size as my Cronus, so why not? And then the armor transforms into this weird unicycle, vehicle here. And the fun part is it's all weaponizer, ports and everything. The wheel of the bike, becomes like a shield for others, and then you have a bunch of these, cannons on the arms of the, armor that, would turn into, different, weapons and stuff. So it's an interesting way of doing it. I mean, that's how you get it into a deluxe, when you don't have anything smaller anymore. And then, of course, it has his, artifact of power, the Chimera Stone. I love how they, had to say Chimera, but it's like, it's Chimera, guys. I know there's a CH, but, believe me, back in the day, I would do the same thing when I was, young and ignorant. Anyways, so, it's cool. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at that. There's a nice look at it right there in the middle. It's hard to make out in this shot, but yeah, zooming in isn't real helping. But his emblem's right there. But I don't quite like the head they put on the armor, but it's something, I guess. It works. This won't be how I keep him in on my display. He's gonna be in his normal robot micro blah, 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 minicons mode. Yeah, can you tell I don't pre-record these and edit it? So here's the nice product shot here. It looks nice. Everything's got it going on. Kind of wondering, I guess that's probably what holds the wheels in the bike mode or something. I don't know. The weird crosses on the back. Anyways, onward. And to the Voyagers now, we got our, new version of Alpha Trion. So one thing I didn't notice until after rewatching it there later, this one only has the younger mustache look going on here, which I guess if we're going for like original, Age of the Primes era, versions of these, he probably wouldn't have the beard going on so much, I guess. This is kind of like his look when he rebuilt Orion Pax into Optimus in the one episode. And, it's nice that this isn't a Scourge retool for once, even though it's kind of similar still. The only downside is he doesn't get the cape going on here so much. So, I don't know. I'll get this one, but, whether I keep this one, I might just, keep this Scourge retool because it does have that nice cape look going on here. But I might give him, the Covenant and the Quill from this version. So, which, yeah, we have the nice, little Covenant of Primus. I'm not sure where the 5mm port is on the Covenant, but there is one from what they said. And then, the Quill to write in it. And the Covenant even has, Cybertronian writing in there on the pages there, even though you can't really see it in this shot here. So, and yep, see, no beard, no goatee or anything. So part of his vehicle mode will become a shield for him, which, if that has to do, that has to do, I guess. I guess that's, I don't know, could that be his cape? Hmm. So his product shot here. Yeah, nice. Oh, and the other thing, I didn't get a good shot of the Autobot symbol there in the middle. There's the one episode where he takes it out and uses it as like kind of a device. And, it's also possible with the toy here. So that's kind of an awesome, little side thing to put in there. All right. On to the next Voyager, and Flatline here. Just a retool or a repaint and retool of the Armada Red Alert Decepticon version. The only interesting part is he actually gets another hand instead of, not having one plugged in there. But, overall, I'm just not really. I don't know much about the character. I know they say he was in IDW comics, but it's not a character that ever, got, any attention from me, obviously. But, it's a nice red and black redeco of the Red Alert mold. That's all I can say. You know, it looks good. Not for me. It's a good way for them to get it out again with that, to reuse the mold like they always do, but nothing I'm going to go into. So, good attempt, but passable. And here we go into the guy I was waiting for. We've seen shots of Onyx already here, but now we got some good product shots of him in his, different modes here. Here's his nice centaur mode, which, it's kind of odd using the triptych mask as a arrowhead for a bow and arrow weapon here, but okay, whatever. I kind of like it. It's the whole, Onyx's whole like mythical beast, thing going on here. Always kind of, a bow and arrow seems, like it'd be perfect for that. So it was never anything, included in any of his, artwork or, lore to my knowledge, but, I can deal. Plus, it seems like the mask has more than just his symbol on it too. I want to say Micronus is up top here. I have to get a better look of it. I know they had a shot of it in the video, but I didn't really pay attention to it enough. Here's his, now here's the thing, his beast mode, before his centaur mode there, I didn't realize they had 6 legs. You got the hind legs, the middle legs, and the front legs there. That's interesting. Kind of an odd, just bringing on that mythical beast all the more, I guess, if you want, it's a tie for him to be part, ancestor to Insecticons too, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, the wings are there, the nice like dragon-like head, you know, the 6 legs, the tail. I mean, I'm loving it. Though I could see this being retooled into one of the like a Prime Predaking at some point, because it kind of has that, either that or like one of the other the Prime Predacons. It's kind of got that feel to me. And here we got the product shot. It's probably the best look at see if I can get a so nice look at his robot mode there. So let's see here. So yeah, up top looks like Micronus' symbol, but I'm not sure whether the other two are, one of the other prime symbols or not. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at the symbols later and see if I can make it out. But it's interesting. I love the look of him. Though honestly, I'll probably keep him in like centaur mode when he's in display. So it's like it's cool. I've been waiting for this guy for a long time, and I'm happy to see him finally coming. Okay, and I think sadly that is probably Age of the Primes for the rest of the year. It's kind of sad that we're going down to just 3 waves a year, but on the other hand, it's nice to have it less on my pocketbook at this time. Okay, so though we did get some, Amazon exclusive 2-packs continuing the whole Wreckers versus Mayhem Squad thing here. So we got Sandstorm in, a nice, redeco, and, this time they gave him the, full face instead of like the faceplate head. And then Slugslingers, a nice redeco of the Titan's Return version. I do kind of like the darker purple on him compared to the one I got over here, but it's one of these sets where it's like it'd be nice to have, but I don't need it. I mean, I haven't even gotten this mold of Sandstorm because I'm honestly happier with the Thrilling 30 version, bit more unique to me, but for the more G1 centric, this is a nice version of Sandstorm. And let's go ahead and there's the vehicle modes showing off the headmaster from the Titan Returns mold here. You know, I like the decos. Not gonna be enough for me to buy into a upgrade here. And then there's Sandstorm's copter mode, which again looks a bit more realistic for what he's going for. Not for me. The nice product shot of the box. Nice artwork going on there. The Wreck and Doom collection. That's what they call it. Okay. Anyways. So honestly, for me, I think, okay. Going in here, the next one, we got a 2-pack of G2 colored Dinobots again. So we got the, Triceratops, Slug. I know it's always going to be slag to me, but I mean, whatever terms in other places, causing issues. And then, our Stegosaurus Snarl. I didn't even buy the normal styled versions of these, and because I'm running out of space around here. I mean, so it's buying all of them at leader class wasn't going to be something I was planning on doing, and G2 isn't going to get me to do it anymore. I'm happy with my Power of the Primes set that have the Volcanicus combining mode, but I can always understand, stuff coming up here. So, anyways, let's go on here. There's their robot modes. I like them. The green, not so much on Slug, Slug, Slag. But Snarl, the red kind of does him well, and the fact that he actually comes with a sword is nice. Don't know if. But yeah, no sword for him over here, it looks like. Unless it's not showing it. And there's a nice look at the box that they're coming in. Interesting. It's one of these, while they're like, selects releases. So they got, at least they're not doing them in all brown cardboard box anymore with just a sticker on them. At least they're giving it some, nice look to it here. Okay, and my least favorite going into Studio Series. So last year they did a Revenge of the Fallen Autobot box. This year we're going Decepticon. So we got a reissue of the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, Soundwave, and the Fallen. Interesting that I understand why they did this. Because getting them all in robot mode is a bit tough, and vice versa. So I've never liked that mode for the Fallen, but that's what he's always had kind of as a toy. So because I don't know if you ever see him in vehicle mode in the movie. And then we have the other side of things. I guess that was considered Soundwave's vehicle mode last time, because here's his bot mode. And then, full bot mode Fallen, Megatron in his tank mode. So, overall, nice box artwork. And that's the stream for the most part. So, I'm happy to see the primes. Happy to see that we've got, the product reveals for the rest of the year. But honestly, just the primes are about the only thing doing it for me. So, yeah, it's kind of sad that we're only down to three solid waves for the year per generations now. As far as between Age of the Primes and I get is Studio Series under that? I don't remember, but the fact that we're scaling back is sad. But with the way things are going, I understand it. It's kind of getting harder and harder for them to one, to find new things that people are going to buy into, and without rehashing G1 endlessly. Again, though, I mean, We still got Beast Warriors that could be done. They prove, we've had people getting in Skybite in hand, and he was an old Transmetal 2, mode back in the day before he was Skybite. He was Transmetal 2 Cyber Shark, and there's nothing wrong with them recoloring chrome to like normal paint. It's like, give us some Transmetals, guys. We don't need the chrome. Just give us, nice metallic paint or, such, to do it. I mean, it's not that hard, guys. But I mean, it's not like I don't have all the transmetals myself, anyways, from the back in the day. So I'd be happy to see them redone for, the newer generations. But yeah. Anyways, I think I'm probably going to stop the video here. That was basically all I was kind of wanting to say. I know it's been a while, but I had some issues. I had to get me a new phone to record on here, and honestly, setting this up today was kind of a chore. Anyways, I'll have try and get some more videos out soon. It's just I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm still feeling rather new to this, and it's like I don't know if I'm doing anything else that anyone else isn't already doing. So that's kind of the way I feel about it. It's one of those things where I gotta build up my own confidence here. Anyways, enough of that. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.